whatever you're going through right now, whatever you've been through in the past, it doesn't define who you are meant to be or who God has called you to be. There is opportunities laying right in front of you that you just need to clean your eyes and open your eyes.
Hello, you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
All right, what's happening? What's up, YouTube? Make sure that you are smashing the subscribe button and the bell to get notified and so forth. You guys know YouTube's algorithm better than I do, so make sure you are subscribing, you're commenting below, and you're sharing this out there. Man, today what I wanted to do was behind the scenes recording for Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. What that means is wherever you listen, yes, you listen to your podcast episodes, make sure you look up Ready, Set, Go REI Podcast. That's Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. In order to hit that subscribe button, you'll get the newest notification every single Monday when that new episode drops, and you get notified. You listen to it after listening to a few episodes. Leave that 5-star review. Greatly appreciate all the love, all the support. You guys are amazing. Keep it coming. Keep flooding it in. It means the absolute world to me. If you are brand new listening to what the heck we got going on here at Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing or Credit Counsel Elite, it's all geared towards educating, motivating, and preparing you to take action in real estate investing. And I wanted to share with you guys, just jumping straight into it, more about my story, how the heck I went from broke, busted, disgusted Brandon Elliott from New Jersey, a misfit, fatherless, grew up with a single parent mother that was labeled manic depressive bipolar, grew up in a house with drugs in it, grew up poverty. And when I say poverty, I mean American poor, super blessed, but nevertheless went from food stamps, Section 8 housing, Social Security payments of about $1,000 a month to feed 3 to 4 mouths, being the middle child, having 2 sisters, being the only man in the house, and at a very young age was told that numerous times. What I can tell you is from that brokenness to having over $14 million in real estate assets today, it's nothing short of a friggin' miracle, to say the least. And I say all that because there is determination, there's pain, there's suffering, there's things that we all go through as human beings, nature, right? Just naturally, that we have forks in the road, we have decisions to make, and our decisions end up coming up with our alternatives. It shows the options, right? And our options, what we pick, ends up choosing our destiny, if you will. And so I've had favor in my life like no other. I've had just God's hand over me and blessings like I can't even imagine. And I'm sure, everybody prays and dreams for these type of things. And I totally acknowledge, first and foremost, like God has huge plans for me. And super grateful for that. Never want to sugarcoat what God has literally set me up with an alley-oop. And he's like, kind of like your child, holding them up right by the net, and you're just tossing them the ball, and they're just keep on, tossing it in, and it was already going in. That's how joyful I feel within life, because of I don't deserve any of this. I don't deserve the 14 million in real estate assets. We have no money in any of it. We've been able to burr all of it, which is, if you're not familiar, it's buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. We've been able to collect $50,000 a month on repeat just from the passive income that brings in from it. We've been able to have amazing human beings, the most talented employees that a guy could ever ask for, that are not just talented, but have incredible degrees and backgrounds and used to work for Facebook, for example, and numerous ones, and just incredible individuals within each department that allow me to have more freedom, allow me to still be able to make an impact, allow me to do what I'm more gifted at, which is solving problems and serving others. And I know with confidence and boldness, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, if God decides to take me out tonight, the mission and the vision that I've casted out and had amazing employees, we got 29 of them that have bought into this vision, will keep going. Like, we will keep making an impact. We've helped out over 3,700 members to date within Credit Counsel Elite. We started Credit Counsel Elite back in 2017, all because in 2015, I started changing my life with the information that I used back in 2011. Now, see, 2011 is when I had enough. Enough was enough. I started getting a little bit of education on real estate, but I got more motivation from it. So as I started diving into the books, podcasts, YouTube, just like this, the information, I started geeking out and getting super excited on what I was learning. And that learning got me excited of there's a way out. I don't need to sell drugs anymore. I don't need to become a pothead anymore. I don't need to have all the chaos in my life with bad women or womenizing and all these other things that I was chasing. I realized that I needed to get wildly corrected. And so I didn't realize how bad I needed it, but in 2013, September 24th, 2013 is when I had the big moment. If you will, I had an explosion. Literally, I had an explosion in my apartment making hash oil. Complete moron, young, dumb, naive. I was 23 years old at the time, and growing up without a male role model, you don't know what you don't know. I now know that I could have used one back then tremendously. I should have probably enlisted in the military. However, I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out in the restaurant industry, always working and hustling, and then on the streets, always hustling and selling drugs, participating in those activities and so forth. And because I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out, God always still had protection over my life. But on this particular day, I had an explosion in my apartment making hash oil. And this explosion was exactly what I needed. It wasn't fun. It wasn't exciting. It was, oh crap, I'm going to jail and I'm going to lose everything, for the rest of my life. That's how it felt. And that was exactly those thoughts that were going over my head. See, that was the moment where everything stopped and changed. That was the split in the middle of the road. Right? There's a couple paths here. And God said, enough is enough. I'm going to save you. I'm going to protect you, but you got to change. And he knew with my personality type, if I would have just got a little slap on the wrist, nothing would have changed. So I needed something drastic. I needed an explosion. And this explosion here didn't just blow out all the windows, didn't just cause a fire or a boom reaction. It tossed me into the living room where I jumped up quickly, realized I was on fire. As I was wearing a white t-shirt, I was wearing basketball shorts, wearing socks, and I was wearing these baseball gloves that, by the way, I hate baseball. No offense to all my baseball fans out there, but basketball was my sport. It still is my sport. And baseball was never a game that I enjoyed, but I had a pair of gloves randomly in my house, and I put those on so that I didn't get my hands dirty. And I was planning on throwing them out afterwards. Very quick and dirty, get straight to the point. Now, this was the moment that I knew God's real in so many ways, because he protected my hands, which I know you can't see, but there is skin graft. There's skin graft. And I can tell you that if I wasn't wearing these gloves, my hands right here could have been mangled up extremely bad. Now, this is where my shirt burnt off my body. And as I'm ripping it off, it just burnt into nothing. 100% cotton, baby. It just burns, And then my shorts, as I'm ripping those off me, those turned into plastic, basically. The polyester just curled into a ball into plastic and just melted into that. It was crazy, to say the least. Now, as I'm walking out of my apartment and seeing my skin just peel off of my hands and my arms, I'm walking my 2 dogs out. I realize I'm going to jail. And that was the moment that I realized something had to change. See, I was induced into a coma for a full week. I went through 3 surgeries. I had to learn how to walk again. And those moments of learning how to walk again and the embarrassment, the shame that was put over me of realizing like there's EMTs and firefighters and doctors and nurses attending to every need of mine. And I had 160 plus staples on me. I had care 24/7 when I'm in ICU and staying 3 weeks within the hospital. I realized that there's good people that are really hurt, not from their own circumstances, that need these people around me that were tending to my every need. And although I needed them just as bad in that moment, I put this on me. I didn't feel deserved to get this time and attention from these professionals when I knew there was other people that need this more than I felt. And so at that moment was really the pivotal change that I knew something had to give, something had to change. And so I tell you all this to state, for the simple fact of whatever you're going through right now, whatever you've been through in the past, it doesn't define who you are meant to be or who God has called you to be. There is opportunities laying right in front of you that you just need to clean your eyes and open your eyes and move away, remove the veil so that you can actually see what God has truly called you to become. I'm blessed to say that that moment was needed for me. Wasn't fun, wasn't exciting. The next 2 years fighting to change the old me, getting away from my stinking thinking friends, the people that partied, the people that did drugs, the people that were not good influences. The average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, that's who I was. And I realized I didn't want to be average, number one. And I definitely didn't want to be average to anybody in my group of friends. So I had to get rid of them. I had to put them to the side. I had to get around high-level individuals, next level thinkers, and people that cared about their financial future, cared about their family, cared about themselves enough to love themselves and look for help and get past the healing and get past the burdens that they were carrying. And when I ended up getting on house arrest and getting 2 felonies and a misdemeanor 2 years later in court by fighting my situation, I got a second chance because I was supposed to be serving 12 years. And they gave me a second chance with house arrest and probation. And it allowed me to not just work, it allowed me to save up. It allowed me to change my life. It allowed me to study. And 4 hours every single day, 2 years had passed as I submitted 38 different offers on real estate properties, getting bought out by real investors, stuff that I do now. But my lack of education at the time, I couldn't compete against individuals that were offering all cash, no contingencies, and close in 5 days. I couldn't compete with that at the time. This is what I do now. And I beat out all 20 other offers if it's a good deal. I learned these techniques to be able to get massive amounts of funding, because I knew real estate would change my life. And you may have something that you are passionate about, just like I am, and as I was, that man, if I just got this, and this, it would be able to change my life. If I was able to get this capital to be able to start this business, grow this business, scale this business, diversify, invest in real estate, be a private money lender, a hard money lender, put it into crypto, put it into stocks. If I just had some extra capital, then I could actually do this, and this, and it could be the beginning of transformation. And I truly believe that you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, you owe it to your future, you owe it to your finances to give yourself that opportunity. But you got to also know what is the opportunity that you're missing. Sometimes we get into these routines of just playing defense because at a young age, we have these goals that we want to change the world. We want to make money doing it. We want to make an impact. But then we actually get a job and nobody taught us in school. Nobody taught us at our kitchen tables how important it is to pay yourself first, invest first, put some money towards savings. Nobody told us those things. Instead, We work during the week. We live for the weekend. We blow it during the weekend. When the new cell phone comes out, we have to have it, even though the new one just came out last year or 6 months ago, and we had that one too. We have to get the newest, Mercedes or BMW model because it looks good, even though we could have settled for a Honda or a Ford, something, a reliable car, A to B. But we want to do it in style, keeping up with the Joneses down the street. When our friends go on vacation, and although we can't afford it right now, and we don't have the guts or the balls to say, hey, it's not the season right now. I've spent too much. I'm trying to save up. Instead, you'll go on vacation with them, but you'll put it all on credit cards and you'll start going into debt. You'll start playing defense before you know it. And instead of just paying your own self and your own bills and trying to get ahead of the game, now we start paying for other people. We start having kids and children and paying other liabilities and so forth. But now we have other mouths to feed and try to keep up with. And it's just a defense. We're just trying to keep our head afloat. We're just trying to stay in the game. Again, this is stuff that wasn't taught in school. It wasn't taught at the kitchen table, most likely. And therefore, it's not your fault if this is reality today. I'm just here to tell you that when there's a will, there is a way. And you should feel hope knowing that if a misfit from New Jersey that was in special ed growing up, if somebody that was broke, busted, disgusted, and somebody that you don't want to be seen around living a crooked, misguided life in the past, doing bad things that I'm not proud of, to where I am today can make it out, I can tell you with confidence and boldness that I'm not the only one. And it is your opportunity. It's your option. It is your choice to be able to decide today and draw the line in the sand. Enough is enough. See, I got to a point that when I was trying to get into real estate for 2 full years, 4 hours every single day, I just didn't know any better. I submitted 38 offers. All of them were getting denied. I couldn't keep up. I got to that point that I was scratching my head and just like, again, so frustrated knowing one day I'll make a mistake in real estate. I can almost guarantee it. The odds are very high. I hear about mistakes all the time from people. I hear about all the fear and the chit chatter in the background. It doesn't sound promising, but I also hear some of these chit chatter of good things. And so I rather get to the point, if I'm going to fail sometime in the future, I rather just get it over with. I rather fail sooner than later. I rather do this ASAP. So how do we speed this learning process up? And I just got desperate. I got to a point like I got to just do it. And although I was trying to get offers accepted here in San Diego because I'm here locally and I heard that you should do it locally, I started looking in other states saying, screw it. What about Colorado? What about Arizona? What about New Jersey, where I'm from? What about Ohio, where I got referred by 3 different people in 1 week? That to me was a moment already. That felt like God was speaking directly to me, because I've never had 3 people tell me to do one thing ever except read a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, back in the day, which got me excited and started into real estate. And 3 people in 1 week told me to do that. And I was like, okay, fine. Maybe I didn't hear the first or second sign. I think the third one, it's solidified. Maybe I should. And that got me excited. And I remember 2 years ago prior, that same excitement and how I got that weird coincidence of 3 people in 1 week. Now I got 3 people in 1 week telling me about Ohio. I was like, ooh, maybe there's something there. So I got excited and I did the same thing. I looked for job growth, population growth, and something unique within that area, and I found it. And before you know it, I started buying real estate. But how was I going to buy real estate when I come from brokenness with little financials, if any at all? I didn't have financial literacy. We grew up broke. I didn't believe anybody would ever allow me to borrow money. I didn't know anybody with money. And I only knew that the banks give money. That's it. So I figured, let me talk to the banks. But because I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and that foot in, I got past all my 1 foot out stuff. I was done being a drug dealer. I was done making a mess of myself, and I was all in on real estate, but I was also working full time in restaurants. I was only making $1,900 a month. It's not much on paper. And so what I can tell you is that I was looking and I didn't know how they qualify, but I knew that I was willing to learn. And so I started figuring out, how do I get credit cards like this? How do I get a couple 100,000. At the time I needed 50, 60, 100,000. That would be enough for me to start. And that's exactly what I got. That's exactly how I started utilizing and liquidating cards into cash into my bank accounts. And then I started buying real estate. I started completing my renovations with real estate, with the credit cards, completing my real estate renovations with credit cards. That gave me protection. It gave me points. It gave me free pat on the back afterwards so I could go on free vacations. It felt very good with me and my honey, right? Having wifey next to you saying, hey, this is cool. It feels good. And then we were making these profitable, getting all of our money back after doing a refinance, and it feels good. And what I can tell you is this, that there's been 3,700 other members within Credit Counsel Elite doing same strategy that I have. As we teach them, as we guide them with our 4-step proven process. It's our 0% capital playbook. It's exactly how the winners win. It's understanding how the banks and lenders are judging you. It's not just about your FICO score. It's not just about your 6 boxes that make up your FICO score. The 3 boxes for fix, the 3 boxes for build. It's about the 45 different metrics on how these banks and lenders are judging you. How long have you been with the bank? How many products and services are you taking advantage of from the bank? What's the internal rating? How many transactions do you have with the bank per month? How much money is going in versus going out over the last 30, 60, 90 days, or even 6 months in some cases? Do you even have a bank relationship open? Are you working with a business bank relationship manager or not? How old is your entity? What industry type is it? Is it high risk, low risk? What's the SIC codes? Is it a 2-year, 4-year, or 10-year entity? Do you even have an entity? There's what is the stated income that you're saying on these applications? Because it's also about what you're stating on the application. How are you talking to the banks? See, the banks have to lend to us. That's the business they're in. If they're not lending to us, they are losing. They will close down before you know it. They have to lend to us. But did you know this? That they lend out. See, we give all of our money to the banks at 0%, basically. I don't know how much you made off of the banks last year, but I can promise you it was probably pennies. It's probably something not worth even noting or noticing, right? With all the money that we put in our banks, they're giving us next to nothing back out. And then therefore, do you know that they lend it back out to you and I anywhere from 9 to 10 times over? That's how much they're on personal loans, auto loans, mortgages, student loans, credit cards, retail cards, business loans, etc. You see where I'm going with this? 9 to 10 times over. And they average anywhere from 500 to 3,000%. Did you know that? See, there's power behind understanding the rules to the game, that this is real life Monopoly. As if we were playing the board game Monopoly, you know the rules to it, because when I say, hey, when you pass go, how much are you supposed to collect? Almost every single person here listening will say $200, Brandon. The difference is if you don't know, if you are talking with all your friends playing the game, then you forget, maybe one of your friends or family members will bump you and say, hey, elbow here, come on, don't forget your $200. If you're playing with my family, they won't. They're playing to win. All right, trust me. But this is real life Monopoly is what I'm talking about. And again, it's not being taught in schools. It's not being taught at the dinner table. So you don't know the rules. And therefore, Americans out there are winging it. We're screwing around. We're struggling. And we all have 1 or 2 banks that we can point at and say, I hate this bank. They're the worst of the worst. Bank of America, Chase, they suck. Like, Wells Fargo, the worst of the worst. They're all horrible, just so you know. They're all greedy, but they all want to lend to you. The difference is they are looking for high risk and low risk. And you, my friend, are saying the wrong things and position yourself incorrectly, and therefore don't know the rules to the game. And so instead of pointing the finger at them like they suck, it's time to start pointing the thumb at me and saying like, hey, I don't know any better. Doesn't mean that you're failing at this, just means that enough is enough. Don't beat yourself up from the past. You didn't know any better. Today is that opportunity that you have to make a change. And so I encourage you to realize if you've had enough and enough is enough and you're ready to draw the line in the sand and start saying, hey, I declare today moving forward, I'm going to actually start participating in financial literacy, the stuff that isn't being taught in school, but is being taught here at Credit Counsel Elite. where we've helped over 3,700 members, where we've been doing this since 2017, where we have over 29 employees ready to serve you, to be able to get your results and your destiny prepared out for you. See, this stuff isn't easy, and it's not meant for people making under $50,000 a year. But if you're making $50,000 or even $100,000 a year as a business owner, or looking to leave the 9 to 5 and get into business, then this is a great opportunity for you, because now you don't need to utilize your savings. Now you don't need to worry about why your score is going up and down. And now you can actually learn how to get to the 800 club, potentially for the very first time. And the good news is you can stay there. You can leverage OBM. Now, I know you've heard of OPM, that's other people's money, but I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about using Uncle John's money or your grandma's money or other family and friends' money, because that is risk. And while that can be good and feel good helping out, you can also be losing sleep over it. You can make Thanksgiving very awkward if there's money owed and people are asking questions behind it. And you don't want to put those family members and friends at risk from their hard-earned money that they're trying to prepare for retirement with, and have them have to work longer just to try to recoup that, if ever at all. Instead, you can use OBM, that's other banks' money. And all banks, again, are looking to lend to you. However, the 45 metrics, again, are part of the rules that you must understand before applying. Because if not, you're just the average, like the average Americans out there that are simply winging it. Now, look at your circle and realize, are you tired of being average? Do you want to get around some high-level individuals? Just like the wealthy, the rich, see, success leaves clues, money leaves a trail, and there is a proven process to actually set yourself up for excellence, to truly win. And if you've had enough and you're ready to actually excel at this and get the rules to the game, then this is your opportunity. I want to invite you to check out a free training at Credit Counsel Elite and even set up a call with us. We have an incredible 3-day virtual event that is coming up in the beginning of the very month. See, in September 5th, 6th, and 7th, it's going to be game changing. And I would love to invite you to this opportunity. It is an incredible opportunity to be able to bless you, to say the least. It dives deep into this training for 3 full days, okay, over a full weekend, that you're actively participating and taking action as we go together, okay? There's going to be over 100 other individuals that are thinking the same way, acting the same way as you, looking to get to that next level. And so I encourage you, that's your opportunity. But we do a free training for 1 hour long each and every week as well. Right now, we're actually doing it twice a week. It's Wednesdays and Saturdays. So if you are interested in joining that, you can simply go to creditcounselelite.com or simply reach out to us on social media and DM us asking for that link, and we'd be happy to provide that for you. It's absolutely complimentary. But again, I encourage you to sit down with somebody on our team. Sit down with our assessment coaches to figure out where you're currently at, where you're looking to go, and figure out that roadmap to how do I actually get there. It's normally a $500 call to be able to get on that call. I can give it to any listener here today complimentary, okay, simply by getting a coupon code where I pay for it. Now, I can tell you this, that not just the value is there, but the clarity, the peace of mind that it brings when you understand that you can get just a second opinion and be able to have a better understanding of what success does look like and how do I get there and where am I at right now. Getting a roadmap to success could be a game changer for you. Now, I encourage you not to miss out on this opportunity. It's not going to be around forever, but it is around today. And so if you're serious behind this, again, go to creditcounselelite.com. That's creditcounselelite.com. Again, I want to show you how to get up to $500,000 with rates as low as 0% and something that could actually be repeated every 6 months per person. Now that's power, my friend. The peace and the confidence that comes with after you know how to get access to capital. Again, you don't need to use any of this. You don't need to use any of it. But when you get access to it and you're patient with it, it allows you to take advantage of quick opportunities where you can really capitalize and make a killing off of it. And because we'll also teach you how to fix credit, how to boost up your score to the 800 club, how to put an application sequence in the right order doing a mass apply, which is simply an application sequence where, when done correctly, you can get up to 90% approval odds. 90%! Up to 90% approval odds. That's a big deal. That's confidence. That's boldness. That's no longer winging it, screwing around, wasting time, wasting precious moments, and getting frustrated with these banks. Instead, you can get confident finances that is needed. You can get the best terms and conditions. You get the best and the highest limits at the most affordable interest rates, and something that you can repeat frequently. There's power behind that, okay? So again, reach out to creditcounselelite.com. That's www.creditcounselelite.com. Also, I highly encourage, check out our social media page on Instagram. It's Credit Counsel Elite. That's Credit Counsel Elite on IG. That's our business page. Feel free to DM us there and just say podcast, or say free webinar, or I want to learn more about the 3-day virtual event coming up. I'm telling you, it's going to be a game changer. It will light you up, and we're giving out so many gifts for it, over $2,500 value. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. If you can't make it, you're going to want to reorganize and rearrange to make it. Trust me when I tell you that. So otherwise, you can follow me personally on IG. It's going to be Brandon Elliott Investments. And yeah, this is YouTube. Check out YouTube, Brandon Elliott Investments as well. I have nothing but love and respect for every single person that shows up to stuff like this. I know you're my people, for the simple fact that others out there are eating buns and chilling on the couch, Netflixing and chilling and screwing around, Minecraft. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but I can tell you, the ones that are investing time, energy, and efforts and finances into themselves like this to better themselves, to be able to get ahead, it's all the same things that I did and I do. I invest $250,000 into myself every single year. I've been doing it for the last 5 years. Prior to that, I was investing $100,000 or even $80,000 and $50,000. I started off investing $400 a month when I was only making $1,900 a month. I could tell you this, that the ROI has always been there. Since 2015, when I actually started investing in myself, it's no surprise, because that's when I started making a boatload of money in the very beginning and started changing my life, buying real estate. And it was slow at first, but I can tell you that there's benefits behind it. There's blessings behind it, and there's levels to it. And it's never easy, but is it well worth it and super gratification behind it? Of course there is. We've been able to bless family members by buying homes. We've been able to bless ourselves buying our dream home, be able to set up our kids' future in the longevity of things. So I just encourage you that if you've had enough and you're ready to actually learn how to get the most favorable terms and conditions, the highest limits, and do it with confidence and boldness, understanding the 45 metrics, come check out one of our free webinars where we deep dive into this information and share a ton of testimonies with you, share more about my story and how you can do it too. Again, if it's a misfit from New Jersey, I've done it, you can do it too. I promise you that. Otherwise, come to our 3-day virtual event. It's going to be bananas. I can't wait to serve you there. Make sure you follow us, share this out, like this, and DM me on IG, on Instagram, Credit Counsel Elite or Brandon Elliott Investments. Just let me know whether this was an awesome podcast or not. Comment below and subscribe to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. We'll catch you on the next one. Till then, guys, God bless. Thanks so much.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.